Hey, my brothers and sisters, now good morning, now good afternoon, now good evening. Anyway, they watch me for all over the world. I greet you now. Now good morning, now good afternoon, now good evening. Once again, when I hear the good news, I can forgive you now. What you must have to talk about Nigerians. About carry Bakasi carry go. See, still about you carry go with different vessel. I beg, when I watch, when I comment, when I like, when I follow my page. As I follow, God will bless you now. Thank you very much.
This is our country. There is Philip Rage. There's this. That is an excellent job. But the reporter that did that and the journalist that did that
was ignorant.
Ignorant because they do not know the higher, dirty dimension of the game. That's why some of us, when it was happening, we laughed. But some of the security chiefs in this country, some of us spoke to them.
It might interest you to know that some journalists in Nigeria are not patriotic.
No, some are, some are not.
Some are not. Some do not even believe in this country.
I know.
Some are working against the progress of this country.
That I know.
Some
yes.
are in the payroll of some of the people destroying this country.
That is a fact.
And they will never report anything positive about Nigeria.
I will come to that.
Thank you. Continue.
I will come to that. Now, Babangida left. General Abacha came to power. When General Abacha came to power, numerous things happened. First of all, he was also confronted by IMF, World Bank, and some of these instances on the same issue that led to the failure of General Buhari when he was military head of state, currency devaluation. General Abacha now fought to say, instead of that, we shall establish economic council that is strong and big enough, and we will comply based on practicality. Naira was tagged, everybody knew, to 82 in black market, 22 in official rate. That was the first time Abacha shot himself on the foot. The second, Abacha now didn't stop there. He said, there are opportunities open for us to create LNG for Nigeria and for Africa.
Liquefied
a source, correct. A source for us to fall back to as a rich country that is blessed. Abacha shot himself, number 3. Second, Abacha had an option to allow all the refineries to die. So there will be importing oil. Abacha refused. It was in this process, I will tell you something here, that is my own experience. One of the GMDs ran to me in the night and said, and I quote, my life is in danger. The memo was submitted
GMD of NNPC.
GMD of one of, MD of one of the refineries. He came to me, he later became GMD. He talked to. He said I should save him. What? He said there are some certain forces from the Ministry of Petroleum and NNPC itself that have submitted memo to the president. He said everything in that memo, all the hundreds of millions of dollars are lies. How? He now come to tell me. He said, don't you see, go take the memos and take a look at them. We opened the office of the president late in the night. I brought out all these memos and we went through. We took dictionaries and get any type of dictionary in the world. These spare parts, they said, to be able to achieve turnaround maintenance. Look at this word. I saw a word I cannot pronounce. But the amount of money per unit, per hundreds of units required to be able to do turnaround maintenance was scary. He said, pronounce this name. We said, okay, let's look for it in dictionary. Anything. Okay, let's look at petrochemical dictionary. Began to resort to call people no meaning.
Fabricated words.
They fabricate what they do. If, for example, television, the word television is in dictionary. Before the word T, they will add some figures and some name and some letters. In between television, they will add some more. At the end, they will add some more. How do you pronounce it? That is the way it is. Now you see allocated to that. Say per unit, for example, $50,000 times 3,000. In the meantime, is nothing. It's just a game. So at the end of the day, you see, to be able to do turnaround maintenance, the colossal amount of money is too huge. And
it's even enough to build fresh refineries.
Even medium refineries at the end of the day. And then the moment you do turnaround maintenance, you will be settled with the word sabotage. Is no longer functioning. Brain box, brain this. At the end of the day. So presidents over presidents and presidents, they have not spoken. But I know numerous presidents of Nigeria have had these colossal problems. It was a game. just for you not to produce. You have oil, you can't manage. It's stage managed. Nigerians are used as agents, and then they retarded Nigeria. In every inch, they were making money. These were type of games. This happened with me. Now, another thing was the issue of Vision 2010. After Abacha left, was halted. It couldn't go. PTF was halted. It couldn't go. The issue of plan for dredging were halted. These were to make Nigeria great. Abacha was now abused, called names. They terminated him. Up to now, they are abusing him. So, but to dig deep into the real tenure of the history of the government is today an offense. Many newspaper houses will not accept. Many journalists will not accept. They have already the old literature in their minds formed, and this is the way it was. Now, 1999 to 2007, Jonathan came to power. Correction, 1999, there was a government. But rather than allowing the turnaround maintenance, now democracy, this democracy we are talking about, rather than building more refineries, even if they are medium, something devilish was introduced. It is called subsidy. The same thing Tafawa Balewa rejected and Dick. The same thing Murtala rejected. The same thing Gawan rejected that gave birth to their exits now was reintroduced in a bigger manner, in the dirtiest manner. At this time, some new additional types of bunkering were introduced in Nigeria, which is the type Channel newspaper just discovered oil theft lately. It's an old thing. There are too many in thousands and thousands in your onshore, offshore locations where you have your riches. Nigerians are far away from knowing this. So that came to the fore. The subsidy continued till this moment. And then refineries were stopped from working. But importation was the order. Now this continued until President Jonathan came. President Jonathan came and Okonjo-Iweala took it upon herself, knowing the colossal of money being spent as Minister of Finance, out of patriotism, out of love of Nigeria, knowing the resources we have. She stood her ground. What happened to her? Her parents harassed, her mother kidnapped. She had to keep quiet. Subsidy had to continue. All the rallies we have had on subsidy, the elites involved are taking money to get it promoted. And nobody could stop it. The government of the day, President Buhari, in one of his promises, campaign promises to Nigerians, is what? Stop subsidy. He said so. And then the major question he asked in one of his campaigns is, who is subsidizing who? When we get there, we'll sort it out. He has been here 7 years plus, subsidy is getting stronger. The question is whose investment is the subsidy? Who is killing the refineries? You are now discovering more oil in Northeast. What is to come? There are already investments going on another type first of bunkering. Another type, bunkering on land, away and far away from sea. We are going to see something unless we have a leadership that care for Nigeria, that will carry Nigerians along, that will get Nigerians educated, that will create a barrier from this monster and the managers of the monster at home and outside. We are in for a very big problems. And so the tiny little peanuts they are being given, many of our elders, many of those who are opportunistic, they found themselves in places, whether as civil servants or as politicians, are the problems of this country, not the majority poor who don't even know what is going on. Another, this is as at today. Now, the question I'm talking about, this is concerning oil only. Oil that we have and Northeast in Nigeria. Northeast, to start with, designed by God Almighty, is the richest part of Africa. Nobody, no part of Africa is as rich as Northeastern Nigeria. Anything on Eastern Nigeria is rich. Southeast, the amount of stones, the amount of oil and gas, coal and gold are enormous. People don't know. You see in Southeast, even this red sand, you see that in the ancient day, when people get married, they take the red sand and adorn their huts. It's gold.
Gold.
Yes. Chinese are taking it today in hundreds of thousands of containers. They are taking it to the sea. You don't have the machine to refine it. But for how long have they been doing that? And at any time you ask, they say, no, we are taking your son to prepare fertilizer for you. And then immigration, custom, and police every day. That's why custom, if they are to talk to at the departure point, in all our seaports, Port Harcourt, Calabar, Warri, Tinkan Island, Apapa Port, ask custom. All these things they are taking out. What excuses were they given? If these things are real, they are going making fertilizer for Nigeria's usage. How much are they paying you to take it out?
What stops us from producing our own fertilizer in Nigeria?
I'm coming to talk to you on even fertilizer and the game being played against us.
So,
Fertilizer alone is another heavy, serious, dangerous matter. This is going on. Unabated, hundreds of billions of dollars are being made. This country is rich as it is, becoming impoverished every day. I give you an example before I go into agriculture, fertilizer. The budget 2022 is a budget of deficit. No leader can look at it and go by the yardstick of management of economy of any country to say the provisions in that budget is what you will use, and then there will be succor for Nigerians when 2024 comes. It will be a big problem to manage 2023 with that budget. There will be a lot of social problems. That's why we, on our own and out of patriotism, now decided to look at Nigeria from outside, from electronic means openings. Nobody gave us one kobo. But there are foreigners who care for Nigeria. There are institutions who care for Nigeria around the world. They receive us. We have data.
you have data.
We have data. If you give me opportunity, I know how to create hundreds of billions for Nigeria with ease. And if we are settled as commander-in-chief, I guarantee you, mark this statement, record this, and air it to everybody. Tell them, I say I know how to create trillions, 2.7 trillion per annum using what God has given us, using international market, minus the unseen hand that have been destroying us since 1956. There is a game. God didn't consult any of us to say, I'm creating you a Nigerian. God didn't consult us to say, I have given you these resources. He subjected us to come as Nigerians to face trial. Trial to know who we are, where we are, and what to do with it. How come we are rich, we don't care for ourselves? How come the poorest poor are being regarded and counted with us as Nigerians? How come we be this rich